Hi, everyone. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time for many of you. I think we're expecting a pretty busy night, a big crowd. It's a free quiz for our first quiz in the new location. Say hi, Frank. Hello. Hi. This is Frank. If you couldn't tell, he's kind of old. All right. So yeah, those of you who are regulars, you know how this works. But because I'm just gonna go to mummy, go to mummy. Because this is our first stream or our first full length stream, we did the Thursday mini quiz as usual, and that went fairly okay. Um, but we're still getting used to the new. Hi, hello Peckham. Good to have you in. Yeah, we're getting used to the new setup, and we're still not 100% sure that everything's going to work perfectly from the new streaming location. So we're doing the free stream, and that means we're expecting kind of a bigger crowd than usual. So welcome to all first time players. Good to have you in. Hope you like what you see and stick around. um, so we do. I think we've got lots of our regulars in as well this week. But for those of you who are here for the first time, I'll just explain briefly how it works. Uh, I will be your host. I'm going to be asking you eight rounds of 5 questions around, and each of the rounds will have like a different little theme or gimmick. And you play along on your phone or in another tab on the forms that will have also been. You'll have the link to those on your sign up form. So it's pretty simple. The scores will be automatically graded by our wonderful robotic assistant RSpot, who checks your answers for us, but they are all double checked by a human being, our wonderful producer Jessica, also known as Mummy to Frank, and Beans. Beans might make an appearance if she feels like popping over in a bit. So don't worry, any computer errors do get double checked. Sometimes only really comes up on the rounds where you have to type in an answer. Just checking for typos, stuff like that. We don't really want to punish people too much for getting one character off. Computers can be a bit harsh on that. Um, but let's take a look at the rounds we have coming up tonight so you get an idea of what you have in store. Round one, as always, we'll be starting with general knowledge. Jessica has the round graphic with a little wood panel background to match the basement decor that we're in. And round two, bunny business. So a few of the rounds this week are going to have a bit of an Easter theme to them. Or round three, Midwestern mouthfuls, maybe a bit of a theme reflecting our uh, current location. We are, as I said, a temporary location, undisclosed basement somewhere in the upper Midwest. Um, I'm sure some of you will be able to work out to a slightly greater degree of precision where that is. Round four, Easter eggs. Round five, chocks away. Like Easter chocolate. Round six, a small town with a terrible secret. Oh, so we're in a small town. Well, you'll never figure that out because there's a lot of small towns in the upper Midwest. Round seven, what, you egg? All right. And finally, as always, we'll be closing out with a second helping of general knowledge. So if you're on the stream, especially if you're on for the first time and you're still getting used to how everything works, make sure you have your team name entered in already. And then when we are going through, you will have to enter that team name again each round. So make sure you enter the same team name each time because that's really important for RSpot, our robo scorer, to match your score to your team. And that way, keep a running tally. Otherwise, we'll just end up with two teams with very similar names, each with half the amount of points at the point where you split or change names. So try to make sure you're entering the same name each time. Once again, that's something that our human double checker should catch, but just makes life a bit easier for her if you remember. Uh, yeah, RSpot, our automated speedy scoreboard operating tool. I knew I came up with a backronym for that. I'm wearing my gown. I got my gown on. Thank you for noticing. A bit of a change in attire. Normally, I'm just in the solid color tees, but I've got a gown on over top. It's cold in this basement, you know. All right, so let's get started with round one. If you're playing for the first time, you're still not 100% sure how it works. You'll learn by doing. You'll soon catch on. So round one is general knowledge, and the first question: a recent study in Namibia found that what was the most effective and safe way for conservationists to transport rhinoceroses? Rhinoceri? Is that on stretchers, in blimps, floating in water tanks, or hanging upside down? So this was found to be both efficient and safer for the animal. So on stretchers, in blimps, floating in water tanks, or hanging upside down. Absolutely. At some point, we will have a spotted cow on the stream. Actually, today I'm drinking White Claw because we didn't have it in Europe. I'd heard all the memes about it. So finally, 2 years after everyone else, I'm getting around to drinking some White Claw. But there may be a step back in the amount of drinking on the stream. In our old location, the stream started at 10 p.m. for us. It's now a 2 p.m. stream for us. So I don't want to be getting to a habit of too much day drinking. All right, question two. Yesterday was the 46th anniversary of the foundation of Microsoft. What instant messaging app was Microsoft recently reported to be in talks to purchase for $10 billion? So is that Signal, Discord, Telegram, or Kik? So it remains to be seen if this deal goes through, but it was recently reported that Microsoft were attempting to purchase one of these messaging apps. 46 years. God, you just like almost 50 years of Microsoft. You don't think of like, I don't know, at least for me, I'm a kind of mid-millennial. I guess my family got online kind of late for my generation. But, I'm of the age where my house got a computer that was on the internet when I was like 15. It's weird to think of there being 50 years of the computer age or the consumer computer age. All right, question three. Yesterday also marked the anniversary of the first successful implantation of an artificial heart in a human. What year did that happen? Was that in 1969, 1979, 1989, or 1999? Oh, you've got White Claws in the Netherlands. We didn't have them in Romania. All right, question four. Large parts of the eastern and midwestern United States, not here, but parts of the Midwest, are set, so that's another clue for you if you're trying to rule out parts of the Midwest, are set to be hit by the emergence of a brood of cicadas, which are only seen once every how many years? Is that every 7 years, every 13 years, every 17 years, or every 23 years? All right, so that brood of cicadas is set to emerge in I think later this month or sometime like that. I think basically through May, I think. So yeah, that's going to be loud. Apparently, 100 decibels the sound could get up to, like standing 3 feet away from a chainsaw. They said. And the last question of round one. Which shoe company has taken out a restraining order against Brooklyn streetwear and art collective MSCHF, or I assume it's pronounced Mischief, over their Satan shoes produced in collaboration with Lil Nas X? Was that Adidas or Adidas? I guess I have to say now I'm in America. Nike, or I guess I would say Nike now. Bloody hell. Reebok or Puma? So Adidas, Nike, Reebok, or Puma? Adidas, Nike, Reebok, or Puma? Puma, I guess. You guys yacht drop as well, don't you? Puma. So get your guesses in. And if you are playing for the first time, once you have selected all 5 answers, you have to hit that green submit button. Your answers are not locked in until you hit the submit button. So, it's a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire situation. Is that your final answer? As long as you haven't hit submit, you can go back and, second guess yourself. Um, you know, Obviously, they say when you're doing a quiz, don't second guess yourself, go for your gut instinct. But some people just cannot help it. Maybe your gut instinct is to second guess yourself. I'm not going to tell you how to play. I'm just going to tell you, well, I'm telling you literally how to play, actually. I'm not going to try to guide your conscience, your ideological style of play. But I'm just going to tell you functionally how it works. Nike, yeah, we're the same as the Dutch in this regard. My White Claw review so far: mango, it's pretty good. Black cherry, I like it. Jessica doesn't. Watermelon, I don't really like it. Jessica thinks it's okay. We will update you as we try as we try more flavors. Yes, I can see the Matt's explanation of the classic Van Gogh style of play there. See, there's pros and cons to playing in a team, right? So I know among our regulars we have some people who play in pairs, occasionally threes, and some people like to play on their own. Obviously, when you are on a team and you shoot down someone else's guess and then they turn out to be right, you have to live with that for the rest of the night. All right, so because we have a few more teams in than usual, I'm not sure how we're going to go with the timing on these. Normally, when we've got 10, 11, 12 teams in, that's where we usually top out. Somewhere between 7 to 10 teams is our typical attendance. Everyone, it takes about 3 minutes for everyone to get in. Could be the same, but that's something our producer can see, but I can't. So she'll let me know how quickly people are getting in with the extra teams. Okay, it seems to be going pretty similar in speed. We're just waiting on 2 teams. So if you're one of those 2 teams, remember to hit that green submit button once you've selected all your answers. No cheating, guys. This is a fun quiz. We're just playing for fun, and there's no honor. There's no honor in googling these answers. Don't worry. There are plenty of rounds that we try to make as ungoogleable as possible, but it's kind of difficult to do that for general knowledge. All right. Oh, people have been playing Trivial Pursuit in preparation. Is it the classic situation where you're just playing the same old like 1975 edition, and it's American, it's all long retired baseball players that no one remembers? Or are you playing a German edition? How would you get on with that? Okay, guys, let's get those answers in though. If you're one of the outstanding teams, and then we'll be able to. You can see the questions are still scrolling around on the screen. If there's anything you didn't hear, a new German edition. How as a I see. Don't worry about that, guys. This happens very occasionally. Our spot is usually pretty good at scraping those scores, but if 2 teams answer within the same 1/100th of a second, sometimes that causes him to just he gets the answers, but he doesn't show them to us. He hides them. So Jessica's gonna have to dig them out and manually enter them into the scoreboards. But I think we do have everyone's answers then. Maybe, but we'll see how things go. Choopy Ponk, Choopy Ponk. if you are with us, if you're on the stream, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to have to press on. Obviously, you're welcome to keep playing, but once we start going through the answers, you're not going to be able to get any points for that round. Okay, so round one answers. First up, hanging upside down. We see the picture there, hanging upside down from a helicopter, was found to be, so typically they would put them on their side on a stretcher that would be hung from a helicopter. They wanted to find out if it was safe to do this because it's quicker and easier. It turns out it's actually slightly better for the rhinoceros. Puts less pressure on their lungs. All right. Discord. Microsoft is attempting to buy Discord for $10 billion. That's a lot of money. Number 3. 1969 for the first successful implantation of an artificial heart in a human. It was only a temporary one. This was not a permanent artificial heart. This was just for 3 days while the patient was waiting for a transplant heart. And the artificial heart was a success. Unfortunately, the patient died after receiving a transplanted heart. Then number 4. 17 every 17 years this brood X is being called, and so there are several broods of 17-year cicadas in the US. This is the largest, I think. They're not all synchronized, they don't all come out at the same time, but this is the largest brood of 17-year cicadas. And finally, it's Nike, those Satan shoes, the like Nikes with a drop of human blood in them. They've got like a little pentagram on them and stuff, and of coming out in collaboration with that Lil Nas X video. So let's take a look at the scoreboard after round 1, and this will be my first look at how many teams we have in. Jessica gave me a heads up that we might be expecting more than usual, but I don't know how many more we have. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, only 9. So it's a kind of normal amount of teams. Oh, no, there are more. Okay, we've got a lot of teams. There are some teams in the scoreboard that I guess didn't get their answers in. If you are here, though, members of those teams, you can keep playing. You can still catch up because we've got some 2s, 4s, 3s. You know, you're at most, okay, oh, the Van Goghs did get a perfect 5. Well, you're only 5 points back from the Van Goghs if you didn't get your answers in time for round 1. And yeah, let's have a look at round 2. Oh, let's see. There may have been a scoreboard issue. Going the opposite way to usual. We'll have that double checked during the interval. We have a short interval between rounds 4 and 5. So round 2, bunny business. So regular teams will know we have a format sometimes on here where it's like 9 of pop cultural things of a certain category. So bears from pop culture, pirates from pop culture. Most of the ones we've done have been animals of some kind. This time is going to be 9 bunnies or rabbits from pop culture. I'm going to give you 5 clues. So you need to select the bunny that matches each clue. So there are 5 clues. There are 9 bunnies and only 5 clues. That means 4 of the bunnies are red herrings that you have to avoid. So there is only one answer that matches each clue. So no double answering. And with these picture rounds, we do have it so that you have to select something to move on to the next question. But don't worry, as I said before, your answer won't be locked in. If you then hear a later clue and you're like, no, wait, actually, that's that one, you can go back and change it. But you just have to have something selected to move to the next one. That's just a we had a couple of times where people accidentally submitted their answers without selecting something for every clue. So that's the Kelsey rule. Clue number 1. This bunny predates its similar rival by 15 years. So if you look at that spread of 9 bunny rabbits there, this bunny predates its similar rival by 15 years. All right, so some people seem to be having tech issues. That will all get double checked. If not after the next round, then definitely during the interval. But yeah, bear with us. As we said at the top of the stream, it's our first stream from a new location. So it's been a busy week. All right. Clue number 2. This rabbit is a general of the Ephraphran Owsla. This rabbit is a general of the Ephraphran Owsla. Which of those 9 bunnies do you think that is? All right. Number 3. This bunny was originally a deer before a last-minute redesign. So, which of those bunnies could that apply to? This bunny was originally a deer before a last-minute redesign. Question 4. This bunny has appeared in 36 children's books. This bunny has appeared in 36 children's books. Maybe even more. There are some like promotional tie-ins that I didn't count. I just was choosing main series books by the original author. And finally, question 5, or clue number 5. The original design for this rabbit, I should have said bunny for consistency. Well, that's why I'm not a professional writer. The original design for this bunny was strawberry pink. All right, so choose your bunnies. Which one matches which clue? Remember, there's only one bunny that matches each clue. So avoid those red herrings or red bunnies. So, it's a bit Eastery. We've had a bunny round. I think the clues are on the form for this one, so we don't need to keep those circling around. And I think as well as having to select one from for each clue, I think it may have also been added that you won't, if you're having trouble submitting, it might be because you accidentally selected 2. I think we've also added that in now, that you can't accidentally select 2 for the same one. So 1 animal per clue, or one bunny per clue, and you must select at least 1 per clue. So obviously, well, now we've done this with snakes, owls, bears, pirates, lots of different things before, and there's some more than others. Snakes, I was really struggling to hit those 9, but yeah, often we do stuff like that where it's stuff with just a name, like the name is Snake or something. But there is an abundance of bunny rabbits in pop culture. We didn't even include Bugs Bunny. We didn't include Roger Rabbit. What's the big pink rabbit? Harvey. We didn't do Harvey. There's a lot. The rabbit of Care Bannock from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. There were a lot of bunny rabbits that did not make the cut. There's just a ton. People love rabbits, eh? All right, so well, we didn't want to get too obvious. Also, the Easter Bunny is kind of a vague concept, right? It's hard to come up with specific trivia about the Easter Bunny. It's the our rounds are more inspired by Easter and or when we're near a certain holiday. All right, smart PJs. I think we're just waiting on you guys. So remember to hit submit. Because it's a picture round, you might have to do a capture after you hit submit or before you hit submit. I think after you do the capture, you still have to hit submit. So that may be what's happened here. That sometimes trips people up, especially first time players. Are those dogs still snuffling about? I haven't heard them in a while. They were jingling around for like the first 15 minutes of the stream. All right, so let's get that in. Okay, guys, that was the 30-second timer for stragglers. Hope you're not having tech problems. We do hate it when people lose points just because the internet's cramped out for a minute, but we will have to keep the stream moving. So let's take a look at the answers. All right, so question one. This bunny predates its similar rival by 15 years. That's the Duracell bunny. It was introduced in like the early 70s. The Energizer Bunny, which is much better known in the United States, didn't come along until like the late 80s as a parody of the Duracell Bunny. All right. Then, number two, this rabbit is a general of the Afrafran Owsla. That's General Woundwort from Watership Down. Afrafra is the colony that he is the chief of. Owsla, a kind of like in the mythology of Watership Down, different warrens will have they're like kind of like a military police, peacekeepers. That's the Owsla for rabbits. This bunny was originally a deer before a last-minute redesign. Hugh Hefner originally was planning on calling his magazine Stag Party, but I think there was a copyright claim at the last minute. He changed it to Playboy. The logo, it wasn't quite a fully formed logo at that point, but the little cartoon at the beginning of the first issue was quickly changed from a stag to a rabbit by changing its antlers to ears. And giving it some whiskers, and iconic logo was born. All right, then question four. This bunny has appeared in 36 children's books. Oh, did I choose a transparent PNG of Miffy there? My bad. And yeah, it's Miffy. She's a beloved international character. She's Dutch, so that's one for our Dutch team there. So Peter Rabbit, who's also included, another children's book favorite, only ever in like 6 Beatrix Potter books. And finally, Quick, the Nesquik Rabbit, first appeared on some of the strawberry milkshake powder or flavored milk powder, and then now obviously is much more associated with the chocolate flavors of the powdered milk and cereal and what have you. Yes, I did. I learned that doing my research. Ninja. It's I also learned it's a diminutive form of the word for little rabbit. All right, Miffy chosen as an international name because it's easy for speakers of most languages to pronounce. Ninja, there we go. That's handy. Thank you for that. All right. So let's take a look at the scoreboard after that. I can see Jessica has checked in with some teams who, unfortunately, the internet speeds aren't quite enough to keep up with the stream. A real shame, but thank you for attempting to join us. It's always lovely to have new faces in. We will be pressing on without them, but hope to see them again in the future. I mean, the more the merrier. But it does look like Rock Divas, ABGH, and Choopy Ponk won't be able to continue. All right, and we are sorted by total scores now. So Evil Gazebo in first place there with 8 points. Hot Cross Bunnies and F and B for Presidents tied in second with 7, and then the Van Goghs after the scoring error has been corrected there. They have managed to stay in third place though with 6 points. So that's our top 3 positions. I'm not going to go down the whole list. We have a lot of teams in today. Moving on to round 3, and this one should be good for the Van Goghs. They do have a Midwesterner among the ranks. It's Midwestern Mouthfuls. All right, so Midwestern Mouthfuls, we have the names of 5 dishes, delicacies that are popular within the Midwestern United States. Some of them might be more from one part of the Midwest than the others, than other parts, but they're all from within the Midwest. You just have to guess from the name what that food is. So, yeah, obviously, if you're from the Midwest, this is going to be a piece of cake. Might be more tricky for some others. Let's have a look at the first one. What is hot dish? So is that a spicy tomato soup? Is it a type of casserole? Or is it buckwheat pancakes served with flaming brandy? All right, so spicy tomato soup, a type of casserole, or buckwheat pancakes served with flaming brandy. That's a hot dish. One word. All right, number 2. What is puppy chow? Is that mini hot dogs in barbecue sauce? Is it ground beef and onions seasoned with a dried ranch seasoning packet? So the little powder you use to make ranch dressing. Or is it cereal coated in chocolate, peanut butter, and icing sugar? So mini hot dogs in barbecue sauce, ground beef and onions with ranch seasoning, or cereal coated in chocolate, peanut butter, and icing sugar. All right, number 3. What is a horseshoe sandwich? Is that a hamburger patty, French fries, and cheese sauce on toast? Is it a pork schnitzel served on a pretzel roll with hot mustard? Or is it beef jerky and potato chips? You could, yeah, go. I mean, go for it. Have all of them. All right, number 4. What is a Kringle? Is it a fatty sausage spiced with caraway, allspice, and dill? Is it a large ring-shaped Danish pastry, Danish style frosted pastry? Or is it a crinkle cut potato chip? A Kringle. Hey, I think I've been pretty good at coming up with fake Midwestern dishes as the as the decoys here. And question 5: What is a Buckeye? Is it a ball of peanut butter fudge dipped in chocolate? Is it a steak with a fried egg on top? Or is it a type of venison pie served cold with pickled onions? All right, so those are your Midwestern mouthfuls. Yeah, I think I've made them quite plausible. I'm really tapped into the Midwestern way of life. I was meant for this. All right, so get your guesses in. Three to choose from, four each one. Do we have any other Midwesterners in today? I don't want it to seem like we're giving too much of an advantage to Kelsey's team. The root beer float is pretty good. And we've got at least one Canadian in. Canada is pretty, the Midwest is like the Canada of America. I don't know how much the cuisine overlaps. We are we are in a part of the Midwest that appreciates cheese curd as much as any Canadian does. Oh, of course, yes, our Irish contingent is like me, um, and a Midwesterner through marriage or nearly marriage. Yeah, some of these are kind of regional within the Midwest as well. Alberta is the America of Canada. It's the oil that does it. All right. So, everyone got their answers in? How many teams are we waiting on? Let's check in with our producer. Use the 30-second countdown to grab Black Cherry. Oh yes, I'm not being paid by White Claw, I promise. All right, so we've given you the timer. That means if you didn't get your answers in, I'm afraid it's too late for you this round. But don't worry, still plenty of time to make up ground. Let's have a look at the answers. All right, so first up, hot dish, a type of casserole. There's a lot of different ways to make hot dish, particularly popular in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Dakotas. You pretty much only rules are you have to have some kind of meat, some kind of can of soup, and some kind of starch, whether that's wild rice, tater tots, whatever you can get your hands on. All right. Puppy Chow. It's cereal, specifically like Chex, the little corn checker things. They're covered in a mixture of chocolate and peanut butter, then dusted in icing sugar to stop them sticking together. Very addictive. Uh, Three, horseshoe sandwich. This is, I think, an Illinois. I've been corrected on my stress on that word. It's Illinois, an Illinois speciality. It's like a diner food, toast with hamburger patty, French fries, and like drenched in cheese sauce. All right. Number four, a Kringle. This is particularly popular in Wisconsin. Racine, I'm probably saying that wrong as well. Famous for the Kringles. Is a thing from Denmark. It's a Danish pastry, but that's also very popular in Wisconsin. Like a ring-shaped Danish. And number five, the Buckeye. This is like the state candy of Ohio. The Buckeye State Buckeyes. If you're the chestnuts, basically horse chestnuts, I think maybe the same thing. So if you're in the UK, you might call them conkers. It's like there's a lot of them in Ohio apparently, and a Buckeye is a ball of peanut butter fudge dipped in chocolate with just a little bit remaining uncovered, so that you've got it's like all brown with just this paler bit at the top, like a conker or a buckeye. And so those are your answers there. And let's, yeah, that's right. I thought horseshoe sandwich will be absolutely the it's the wildest one there in terms of name. Just like there's no way you could work it out. All right, let's take a look at the scoreboard after that one. Oh, wow, we have 4 teams tied at the top. So obviously early days yet. We're still in the first half of the quiz, but that does mean like we are shaping up for a close run thing. Could be a tiebreak at the end. Don't know if I've prepared a tiebreak yet. That's something to work on during the interval. All right, and that's Evil Gazebo, Hot Cross Bunnies, F&B for Presidents, and the Van Goghs all tied for first place. Frank in second place with 9. And then El Tyrannos and the Poop Smiths tied for third place with 6 points apiece. And also well done to all our other teams as well. And let's have a look at round 4. This is our last round of the first half of the quiz. We'll have a short interval after this. And it's Easter eggs. This is a kind of a media round. So we often try to have these before the interval in case people need to rewatch the clips. It's clips this time, video clips. So this round is not about Easter eggs, the thing you might have been hunting for yesterday. It's about the type, hidden content in a piece of interactive media. So, you get them in video games or flash animations, or as was particularly popular in the early 2000s, DVD menus. Easter eggs in DVD menus was a big thing. Remember DVDs? No one has DVDs anymore. Anyway, so that's what we're going with for this round. All of these come from the DVD menus for various movies. These are things you could find. They were not like listed. These all were Easter eggs. You had to like go to a certain place on the menu and press left and enter press 8 or like enter a code and just press select, like, oh, highlight someone's bow tie or some stuff like that. You know how they were back in those days. You remember if you are of a similar age to me. And we're going to show you like a short outtake. So they often went to kind of like skits, little funny bits. So we've taken out like little 20-second outtakes from various skits that you could find as Easter eggs. You just have to type in the name of the movie that the DVD was for. If it's from a franchise, don't worry about it. You don't have to get the sequel number or anything that comes after a colon, because probably all these DVDs ended up packaged into box sets anyway. So as long as you get the name of the franchise, you're probably good, because they probably were all packaged together at some point. Not all of these are from franchises, but I think a couple of them are. So let's have a look at the first clip. Remember, we want the name of the movie that this was a DVD Easter egg for.
Our top secret robot has gone out of control. We need you to destroy it. If you accept, we'll pay you the equivalent of 1 year's salary.
I started with the baby suit. It's fireproof, bulletproof, and machine washable, darling. That's a new feature.
Long-time viewers may be surprised to know that wasn't made by me and Jessica. That was a real DVD Easter egg.
And action.
This precious target is the fuel that makes this project go. There are only 25 towns on the planet. I want to thank Harry Osborne and Osborne Industries for providing this.
All right, that was clip number 2. Type in the name of the movie that was a DVD Easter egg for. Let's take a look at the third clip.
Oh my God.
It's a gift.
You're damn right it's a gift.
called the Prince Albert, and it's my precious.
All right, yeah, some very, very poor video quality in some of these, I'm afraid. It was tough to dig some of these out, dig some of these up. The Easter eggs often don't get uploaded to legitimate and legal download sites. All right, number 4. Extremely creepy, just horrifying. And the last one, 5th Easter egg.
Get out of the way.
Remember to say please.
I can't watch this again. It's a DVD. This is the advanced bootleg.
These are the alternate takes, Tom.
What, are you gonna call Coppola with ideas on how to fix it? I do not believe this.
All right, so remember the name of the movie that was a DVD Easter egg for. All right, so as we enter the end of round 4, it's time for a short interval usually for us. So that's usually about 3 minutes for you to get up, stretch your legs, get yourself a cup of tea or a drink, go to the bathroom, and of course, this is a type in your answers round, so it gives you time to type in your answers. Rewatch the clips if you need to. Those video clips will be embedded in your answer form if you weren't quite sure if you needed to watch them again, just to confirm your initial gut reaction. So we're going to give you a few minutes to do that. I think Jessica will have preferred a little intermission video, but we will probably leave you in silence for like the first minute or so for rewatching any clips that you need to. And yeah, I'll see you in a couple of minutes. And we are back. Good to be back. How's everyone doing on those clips? Got your answers in? You can see Liz in the comments saying she wants to move it to the Midwest based on that food round. That actually makes a ton of sense for you guys because I already said it's really similar to Canada, and also like half of the food is German. So for our Canadian German team, it would make a ton of sense. All right, and we're going to hit the 30-second timer. For those of you still thinking about your answers, just type in your first guess and hit submit. All right, so that was the last 30 seconds. That was your last chance to get your answers in for this round. Let's take a look at the answers. Here we go. All right, so the round 4 answers. If you didn't notice, the Easter egg is that guy's got little DVDs in his Easter egg basket. That's a little Easter egg for you guys. All right, so the first clip, we saw the sock puppet reenactment of The Incredibles. The Incredibles was the answer there. Next up, we saw Willem Dafoe giving Alfred Molina some inspiration of how to play a Spider-Man villain as an Easter egg for Spider-Man 2. As long as you wrote Spider-Man, you got the point there. Then we saw Jack Black and Sarah Michelle Gellar. It was a skit they did, I think, for the MTV Movie Awards one year when they were co-hosting, early 2000s, eh? What a time. And it ended up as an Easter egg for The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring DVD. But Lord of the Rings was enough to get you the point there. Then we saw the uncanny CGI cast of Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. Final Fantasy, enough to get you the point. Nothing to do with the Final Fantasy games. Very disappointing to young MJ, who was fully obsessed with Final Fantasy VII at the time that movie came out. And then we have The Godfather. Yeah, it was the cast of The Sopranos trying to watch a bootleg DVD of The Godfather. And yeah, that was included as an Easter egg for a special edition release of The Godfather. So we hear Tony say at one point, "What are you gonna do? Like, call Coppola and give him tips on how to fix it?" Like, that was your little hint there. Probably the trickiest one. You had to catch that little Francis Ford Coppola reference. Let's see how everyone did on that and how the total scores stand. So here we go. Has the log jam at the top of the table been broken? Oh, the scores have not been updated yet, but we will see them in a second. Maybe the page has to refresh. But if not, we'll just get a double update after the next round. Here we go. It's updated. And that puts Evil Gazebo sitting pretty uncontested at the top of the table. And it's a steady dunk, 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 1 point, 1 point, 1 point down. Hot Cross Bunnies, the Van Goghs, F&B for Presidents, then Frank and the Poop Smiths tied in 5th place. So all of those 6 teams within 1 round's worth of points of each other. And then we have Last Minute, El Tyrannos, Quizzards, Team Beak, and Smart PJs all on the tail. Actually, it looks like Team PJs may also have dropped out. All right, so let's move on to round 5. Great job so far, guys. A close race at the top is what we love to see. So round 5, we have Chocks Away. And because Easter is such a chocolate-forward holiday, we're going to test your chocolate identification skills. We're going to show you the cross-sections of various... Check out the latest Rank on the Poop Smiths album out Monday. Very good. We're going to show you the cross-sections of various popular chocolate treats. You just have to type in what chocolate treat it is. Now, we have tried to account for almost identical chocolate treats existing with different names in the US and Europe. Now, we haven't been able to check every single international market, but we've, I think, covered the most common names for these candies. Yeah, I'm looking for the brand name that they're sold under. So you'll get what we mean when you see the first picture. What's that? What is that a cross-section of? What chocolate treat is that? So starting out on a fairly gettable one, I would say. I think these guys have the same name everywhere, so there shouldn't be any confusion here. All right, let's see our second chocolate treat. Got the cross section here. The website I found that did these, I think they must freeze them to slice them because they are all so perfectly sliced. It's very satisfying. There's a whole blog that's just dozens and dozens and dozens of these perfectly cross-sectioned chocolates. All right. Although it might obscure the texture in some cases because you can't really tell if something is firm or soft on the inside. So you're going to have to use your best judgment. Here's number 3. The old name, I don't know if there. I don't know that there was an old name of that. I wouldn't give a bonus point, but I'd be very interested and impressed. All right. I wish I had made them all myself. All right, so number 4 you can see here, and we'll go to the 5th and final candy cross section. What is it? We cannot make promises of candy, I'm afraid. It's a whole new world of candy now, being on the other side of the Atlantic. It's not universally good. You know, there's trade-offs. It's just different. It's one of the biggest in terms of like what is available to consumers. It's just completely different. Whether you're in America or Europe, like chocolate bars is one of the biggest changes. There's almost no common ground there. Peanut butter, very popular here. Everything is peanut butter flavored, which, you know, I like peanut butter. And we will find out the level of everyone's candy knowledge. So some of these, I think, are pretty universally named. They don't really change much from territory to territory. Some of them are a bit trickier. I think there's one in particular that has 2 essentially identical products made by different companies, both available in America. If you get either of them, I'm giving you the point because they are basically the exact same product. Anyone else eat a ton of candy yesterday? I ate too much. I was telling Jessica about a time when I was little. It was Easter, and it was a situation where my mum and dad got me a chocolate egg, and then I got one from the Easter Bunny. What is this? Sorry about the interruption there. My phone is also my camera, and it was ringing. Got one from the Easter Bunny, got one from my mum and dad, got one from my grandma, got one from my aunt, and then I just ate them all and just puking chocolate, you know, when I was like 5 years old. I was telling Jessica about that. And then yesterday she surprised me with a bucket of like Kerry's mini eggs and Reese's peanut butter eggs and stuff. And I was just like, I have the same exact amount of self-control now that I'm 33 as I did when I was 5. And just, I made my tummy hurt. Oh, that sounds like a fun Easter hunt, hunting for bears. All right, so I think that's plenty of time to get your guesses in. So for those of you who haven't, start hitting enter. Make sure that you have hit enter. Often that's the case. People, they put their 5 guesses in and they just forget to hit that green enter button. So remember, make sure you've done that. But otherwise, I think it's going to be about time to put up the 30-second timer for our stragglers. Or we might, maybe everyone's in. I'm not sure. I don't see everything that happens behind the screen. Okay, we're just going to skip to the answers. I think some of the teams have the internet has crapped out on them. All right, so let's go straight to the answers. All right, so first up we saw the Kit Kat. I think specifically that's a Kit Kat Chunky, but yeah, just Kit Kat is fine. Kind of trademark, kind of beveled shape with a wafer down the middle. Next up was a Rolo. It's a little caramel cup, kind of half barrel. Next, Heath Score, either spelling of dime, like a brittle almond caramel coated in chocolate. All right. Then after that, we had Mounds or Bounty, depending on, I think this is a Mounds. It looks a little bit different to a Bounty. The coconut's slightly denser, I think, on a Bounty, but it's similar enough to a Bounty that we would take Mounds or Bounty there. And the last one was a Twix. Biscuit Caramel Finger. It's a Twix. I don't know what the old name is for Twix, if that's what you were talking about, Liz, but I didn't know there was an old name for Twix. But you get a point in spirit if that's a little extra bit of trivia. Okay, and let's take a look at the scoreboard from that one. And we'll see how everyone's doing. I hope some of the teams that were falling behind weren't getting too discouraged. Almond Joy is like a mound with an almond on top. All right. So again, we have a tie at the top. Oh, we broke the tie and we've remade the tie. Evil Gazebo, Hot Cross Bunnies, and Bankoffs all on 17 points, and another tie right behind F&B for Presidents and Frank, 15 points each there. The Poopsmiths in a lone third position. All right, so Quizzard's Team Beak also appear to have fallen off along with Smart PJs. Twix used to be called a Raider. I didn't know that. You get a secret point. It's a point that will not show up on your scoreboard total, but it's a point of the heart. All right. Let's have a look at round 6. Here it comes. I think, oh yeah, this is referring to our current location. Well, I don't know if this small town has a terrible secret. I mean, maybe, fingers crossed, I'd love to solve a mystery. But one of my favorite genres, well, not, I guess, not a genre, one of my favorite tropes in fiction is a small town with a terrible secret. And what we're going to do in this round is describe to you 5 fictional small towns with terrible secrets. There are various levels of size, I guess. Nothing beyond like a medium-sized town / small city, and they all have terrible secrets. So we're going to describe to you the town and the terrible secret, and you need to tell us the name of the town. So that's going to be 1 full point if you give us the name of the town. If you know the name of the piece of media that the town is from, movie, TV show, book, what have you, and you give us that. That'll be a half point. Those don't stack together. You can't get 1.5 points. You either get a half point for the name of the piece of media, or you get a full point for the name of the town. And of course, if the name of the town is contained within the piece of media, you just get a full point either way. So let's see the first one. This small California city sits above a hellmouth, which attracts all manner of evil demons and almost apocalypses. All right, so this small California city sits above a hellmouth, which attracts all manner of evil demons and almost apocalypses. So that is a full point for the name of the city, or a half point if you can only give us the piece of media. All right, number 2. This sleepy Washington lumber town is hiding more than the murder of the homecoming queen. An evil extra-dimensional entity called Bob is behind the killing. So just to clarify, for these, you give us the name of the town. The name of the town will give you the full point for the question. If you don't know, if you know what we're talking about, but you can't remember the name of the town, you can give us the piece of media that the town is featured in, whether that's the name of the TV show, the name of the movie, the name of the book, but that's only worth half a point. So really what we're looking for is the name of the town / city, but if you only know the name of the piece of media, the title of the piece of media, you can get a half point for that. All right, number 3. The men of this idyllic Connecticut suburb are secretly murdering their wives and replacing them with obedient robot doubles. So the men of this idyllic Connecticut suburb are secretly murdering their wives and replacing them with obedient robot doubles. All right, small town with a dark secret, the 4th. The inhabitants of this New Jersey town are actually unwilling puppets forced to play roles by a powerful witch having a psychotic break. The inhabitants of this New Jersey town are actually unwilling puppets forced to play roles by a powerful witch having a psychotic break. And last one, number 5. Experiments at a secret government laboratory under this small Indiana town opened a portal to another dimension full of horrifying monsters and imbued a young girl with powerful telekinesis. Experiments at a secret government laboratory under this small Indiana town opened a portal to another dimension full of horrifying monsters and imbued a young girl with powerful telekinesis. So remember, that's 1 point for the name of the town, or a half point for the title of the piece of media featuring the town. So if you can't quite remember what the town is called, you may as well just say what the town's from, get that half point. And as we've seen, half points could make all the difference in this game. It's very close at the top of the table there. So if you're like, oh, you know, I'm like, well, you have to do the analytics. It's like, oh, do I kick a field goal or go for it on 4th down? How sure are you of getting the town name correct compared to how sure you are of getting the name of the piece of media correct? Like, if your kicker makes a extra point 90% of the time, but you get a 2-point conversion 50% of the time. You go for 2 every time. That's what the book says. All right, so get those guesses in. This is a typing answer, so obviously we'll give you a little longer than we have on some of the just multiple choice ones, but you do have to get those answers in. It's only 5 of them. Oh, someone wants 2 secret points. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see how people have done. We've got, I think, despite all containing the same small town with a terrible secret trope, I think we've covered a range of media in terms of when it came out, demographics. Oh no, they're all fairly similar demographics, I guess. But you know, genre. All right. So, producer Jessica, are we waiting on many teams? We'll see if it's worth sticking the timer up, or if we'll just go straight to the answers. I think we know by now who managed to stay in and who dropped out. Someone's getting a text. I'm curious what this answer to question 4 was for the Van Goghs. All right, I think, we're just waiting on one team. So if that one team is you, Last Minute is the name of the team. And they have stuck with us until now. So I think they are still on stream. So hit submit there, Last Minute, and we will tot up everyone's scores and reveal the answers and so on and so forth. And we'll move on to our penultimate round. All right, so our spot's calculating. Let's take a look at the answers. All right, so first up, it was Sunnydale from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's the city above the Hellmouth. All right, question 2, Twin Peaks. Bob, the like possessing people, murdering homecoming queens, weird extra dimensional lodges, all in the Pacific Northwest. Stepford from the Stepford Wives is the idyllic suburb where wives are being replaced with robot doubles. The answer to question 4 was not the Jersey Shore, despite being in New Jersey. No, it was a west view from a recent Marvel show, WandaVision. So Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff, goes mad with grief and takes over a town with her witch powers. All right, and number 5 was Hawkins, Indiana, from Stranger Things. So you may well have recognized the description of the plot of Stranger Things, remembering the name of the town. You know, it's one of those kind of generic names that you can easily forget. But well done to any of our teams who remembered it. And let's see how scoreboard looks if we've got half points messing things up now. Let's take a look. Also, Jessica saying she accepted some close answers on spelling. So don't worry, she has double checked our spot. She's made some executive decisions when it comes to close spellings. And she doesn't know about the secret. What secret? All right, and we do have some half points on there, only for a couple of teams. Evil Gazebo holding on to first place. And that extra half point gives them a nice 1.5 point lead. You know, that's pretty good because Hot Cross Bunnies can't force a tie break just by closing a 1 point gap. They have to close 2 points. All right, they're in second place. Hot Cross Bunnies. Love the Easter theme name, by the way. Haven't commented on that yet. The Van Goghs and F and B for presidents, who have also been in the running all night, and they are still very close, very much in the running, tied on third place with 18 points each. I feel like I should give mentions to the Poopsmiths and Frank, who are also very, very hot on their heels. Oh, there's an update to Evil Gazebo, says Jessica, which I'm sure is going to happen now, and we'll see it later. Don't know about the secret yet. What secret? Plus a half point. Evil Gazebo have just gained an extra half point, so I guess that puts them on 21. So that's a solid 2 point lead there for Evil Gazebo. So good position going into the penultimate round, but far from unassailable. So round 7 is What the Egg, another kind of Eastery round here. Or sorry, What You Egg. We've gone kind of Shakespearean. What You Egg? It's from Macbeth. Yeah, we're cultured here on the Trivia Mystery Monday night quiz stream. And what we're going to do here is show you the pictures of 5 eggs from 5 different animals, and you just have to match the name of the animal to the egg. Don't worry, we're not going to make you think through the whole animal kingdom of everything that lays eggs to figure out what this is. We've given you 5 animal names. There'll be little drop downs next to each picture. You just have to choose from the list which animal goes with which egg. So your animals are emu, crocodile, leaf insect, screech owl, and horn shark. Just going to introduce them off the bat. And let's have a look at your eggs. So that's egg number 1. Choose from your drop-down menu. All right, so which of those 5 animals is that the egg of? All right, cool looking egg. Yes, that is an egg. It's not a drill bit. All right, number 2. What is that the egg of? And of course, it's a 1-to-1 match. Only 1 animal per egg, 1 egg per animal. All right, next up, our third one. All right, which animal lays those eggs? All right, our 4th set of eggs. What laid those? What are those eggs? And our final eggs. Okay, so that is the last of the eggs. Which is which? What egg comes from which animal? This round is exciting. Thank you for that. We can always count on Matt for a few puns throughout the evening. And we'll see how... I've got high expectations of you on this round, Matt. So we'll test. This is a little test of your zoology skills, or you can kind of just maybe just try and work out. Well, that one's definitely not this. I mean, maybe not. See, the thing that makes it tricky not all of them have size references. So that's something you're going to have to try and figure out. Is that so? The ones where it's just egg on white, are they massive or tiny? Nothing to give you an idea of how big they are. So you're going on appearance alone for some of them. Obviously, some of them do have size references, and so you can rule out some of the animals for those ones. Or can you? Or can you? Do the animals lay weirdly large or tiny eggs for their size? Oh boy, we're getting all the egg jokes in the chat. This is exactly what I was afraid of. All right. So this is a matching round. Usually goes pretty quick. I think we're just waiting on one team now for this. So once you have made your matches, you do still have to hit submit. And we'll see how these eggs have left their scoreboard heading into the final round. Okay, everyone's in. And let's match them up. So first up, we saw this one. It's a horn shark egg. Very cool looking. Kind of makes a leathery mermaid's purse like lots of sharks do, but in a cool twisty shape. Next up, that's a leaf insect egg. After that, we had emu eggs. Very cool, kind of blue-green color to them. Questions are hard to beat. Then we had the screech owl egg. Very round eggs from the owl. And crocodile eggs are the last ones. Weirdly long. I expected crocodiles to have really round eggs like turtles, but they have long eggs, it turns out. And let's see how everyone did there. I think a couple of those you could kind of work out what it had to be, but maybe, for example, I would say owl and crocodile would be easy to mix up there. Let's see the scoreboard. What secret? This name is driving me mad. What secret don't I know about? And okay, so strong scores from most of our teams there. Oh, except for the team who most needed to keep those points, Evil Gazebo, now tied with Hot Cross Bunnies in first place, and the Van Goghs and F&B for Presidents tied in second place, just 1 point back on 23, and Frank and the Poopsmiths. I think the auto thing is not counting half points. The Poopsmiths just a half point back in third place with 22.5, and Frank on 22. So it's super duper close. Last minute, not too far behind. It looks like probably a little too far to take the victory, but have also kept pace very well throughout the evening. So great job at last minute for a last minute edition. And let's look at our final round of general knowledge questions. So it's back to general knowledge to see out the evening, or the afternoon as the case may be for us. So we've got 5 general knowledge questions. Could be up to a 6-way tiebreak. It could get crazy. Yeah, I think mathematically that could happen if we give out a half point somewhere. All right, and all of these, I've tried to go slightly Easter themed on these. So, and welcome to the chat, Fido Dido. A reference to the old 7-Up mascot. Okay, so question 1: which Dublin landmark served as the headquarters of the leaders of the Easter Rising of 1916? Was that Temple Bar, Crow Park, Trinity College, or the General Post Office? So 3 point for our Irish team. All right. Question 2. Easter Island is a special territory of which country? Is that Ecuador, Chile, New Zealand, or the United Kingdom? All right. Question 3. Which of these methods of controlling the invasive rabbit population of Australia has not really been tried? Has not really been tried. Sorry, I put the totally wrong stress on that sentence. Hunting with like that sound. The first way I said it sounds like, oh, they haven't tried it that much. No, this one of these is not a real thing that they've done. Hunting with ferrets, napalm, a 2,000-mile-long fence, or rabbit Ebola. So which of those has not been used to control the rabbit population of Australia? All right. Question 4. What does Eggs Florentine use in place of the ham traditionally used in Eggs Benedict? Is it salmon, mushrooms, spinach, or cheese? They all sound good. I would eat any one of those. But which one makes an Eggs Florentine? And our final question of the evening. What country produces the most cacao in the world? Cocoa beans, however you want to call it, the plant used to make chocolate. Is that Cote d'Ivoire, Brazil, Indonesia, or Ghana? So which of those countries produces the most chocolate? Or the beans, the plant used to produce chocolate, at least. I don't know how much actual chocolate processing and production they do in any of those countries. I'm just talking raw agricultural production here. All right, so questions scrolling around. Now it's a very close one. Oh, and give me a second. I didn't come up with a tiebreaker in the interval. I'm going to come up with one now. I think Jessica might have one. Yes, that's a good one. Oh, I shouldn't have messaged her back because it made a ringtone go off. Don't worry, we've got a tiebreaker, which it seems certainly like a 50-50 chance we're going to need it. I don't know. I don't want to crunch the actual numbers. Seems extremely possible that we will need a tiebreaker. I got my robe. I like my robe. It's very Hugh Hefner. Do you want me to stand up? There we go. There we go. Look, check it out. No, I'm too close to the camera. The wood panel. It's like Wayne's World. I feel like this whole setup, it's just it's a different vibe to the old one. I think I needed this to kind of replace the lush curtains that we had behind us in our usual set. Crunch actual numbers. Oh, you saw the answer to the. Oh, so you've been to Dublin. That's definitely going to help you out on that one. So I know it's a close one, but do not succumb to the temptation to cheat. Let's keep it all above board here. Where's the fun in that? A nice fair victory here. All right, so producer Jessica How many teams are we waiting on? Oh, everyone's in. That's nice. So before we reveal the scoreboard, let's go through the answers first of all. So the answer to question 1 was the General Post Office was where the leaders of the Easter Rising were headquartered. Number 2, Easter Island is a special territory of Chile. They haven't actually napalmed the rabbits. They have put up a 2,000-mile-long fence in Western Australia. They hunted them with ferrets. That's not really effective for large numbers, though. That's more just like kind of hunting on a personal level. And they did so. Myxomatosis was like famously the first virus that they introduced back in the day that kind of like gave them lesions on the skin and made them swell up and die. But the rabbit population of Australia has actually kind of developed quite resistance to that virus, and so now they use rabbit hemorrhagic disease, which is kind of similar to Ebola, just causes a rabbit to just hemorrhage and die. Pretty brutal stuff. Then we've got number 4. Eggs Florentine is made with spinach, like quickly cooked, softened spinach. Very tasty. And finally, Cote d'Ivoire, by a very wide margin, the biggest cacao producer in the world. I think Ghana's in second place, but like Cote d'Ivoire by a long, long way, like maybe more than double the amount of Ghana. All right, so don't tell MJ the secret. Who knows this secret? For those of you who are regulars, you know when we have our quizzes, we do these hour and a half-ish to sometimes running up to 2 hours on a slow night quizzes every Monday. That's at 8 o'clock London time, whether it's GMT, BST, whatever time of year it is. It's 8 o'clock in England. That's when the quiz starts, and that will be at this time of year, 2 p.m. Central. That's the time zone that we're in. If you are in America and want to play along, we probably at some point will be introducing just a second run, probably of the same quiz, but in an evening time slot for an American audience. And we also have our speed quiz on Thursdays. So for those of you who are just discovering us tonight through this free quiz, the Thursday quiz is always free, and it's a lot shorter as well. It takes about half an hour. We do that one on Kahoot. So if you've used Kahoot before, you know that it's the faster you answer, the more points you get. So it's kind of more straightforward questions that are more focused on getting your answers in quick as you can. So that's on Thursdays. That's at 6:30 in the UK, or half an hour past noon here in the Central Time Zone. So let's take a look at the final scores. Is that the top of the table there? And we have an outright victor. Turns out we're not going to need that tiebreaker. Congratulations to Hot Cross Bunnies with that last second victory, just passing Evil Gazebo at the final post with a perfect final round. Amazing stuff there, Hot Cross Bunnies. Commiserations to Evil Gazebo. Really looked like you were going to have it in the bag there, but it ends in a 3-way tie for second place between Evil Gazebo, the Van Goghs, and F&B for Presidents. Congratulations to all of those teams for putting up a great fight. We saw Frank at the start of the stream. We've got Beans here at the end. Here's Beans. Beans is Frank's pet dog. Here she is. Oh. And then we had the Poop Smiths, a point and a half back on 24.5 points. Frank on 23, not Frank the dog. Last minute on 19. So well done to all of you. Close all the way through. I think those are good scores all around. Unfortunately, we had a massive attendance at the start, but a few of those looks like about half our teams couldn't get the stream to work and dropped out in the first couple of rounds. But for those of you who stuck with it, congratulations. Hot Cross Bunnies, it looks like, was London Virtual Tour, who I think they told us they were joining us from Peckham. Shout out to the Peckham Massive. I assume London's probably still under lockdown, but go out and enjoy yourself when you get the chance. And yeah, thanks for coming. If you enjoyed it, we do this quiz every Monday. Normally it's $5. I think we convert that to like £4, I think. I can't remember exactly how pricing is structured. That's a job for producer Jessica. Thank you, Jessica. I love you and appreciate all the hard work you do. But thank you for coming. Well done to Hot Cross Bunnies first-time players. We love it when first-time players get a victory. But also commiserations to, I think, several of our regulars were in that, tied for second place, just 1 point back. I know some of them have been chasing that victory for a while. But, you know, there's always next week. Oh, I see. One of our dropouts actually arrived. There was a time zone issue. I see. They arrived a few hours early and then missed the quiz. So commiserations to whoever that was. But it was a free quiz this week, so you don't. If there was a mix-up, you didn't miss out. You didn't lose out on anything. All right. Yeah. I'm just as confused about this secret as well. All right, so see you on Thursday if you're coming for the speed quiz. See you next Monday if you're coming back for that. Remember, the Thursday quiz is always free and it's only half an hour. It's tea time if you're in the UK, so if you're looking for something to do after dinner, you know, maybe, I don't know what's tea time telly in the UK these days, but when Pointless is finished or whatever other quiz shows, there's always quiz shows on, right? So yeah, hope to see some of our first-time players back for future quizzes. It's always something to do during lockdown, and hopefully after lockdown, people will still continue to play. But thanks for coming, guys. Sorry for any weird inconsistencies. It is our first full-length stream from this location, but I think it mostly went okay. Stream quality seemed fine. Everyone think the stream quality was fine? That was the thing I was most worried about. Yeah, see you next time. Bye. Thanks for coming.